Hey everybody. Hi everybody, Jeannie Andreessen here. Today we're going to talk about why it's important to set boundaries with your clients. I know that this one is a necessary one because I think it's very easy to be afraid to do this and then you skip over it. And when you skip over doing it, you're really missing out on a lot of benefit to both you and your clients. So we're going to explore that today. If you are new to me, I am Jeannie Andreessen, and I'm a business coach to interior designers. I help my clients establish and maintain client and project control, which allows them, of course, to make more money in their business, be much more satisfied in their business, operate much more efficiently in their business, all the things that really help you enjoy your business so much more. So, again, we're talking about setting boundaries with your clients and really the importance behind it. What I would love to hear from you, whoever's live or whoever's coming in, is I would love to know, like, how do you currently feel about setting client boundaries? How do you currently feel when you think about setting boundaries with your clients? I would love for you to jot that down as you come in. Again, the reason why I want to talk about this today is because many are really afraid to set this. If you feel afraid, if you feel intimidated by it, if you're feeling, I feel like those are probably the two that I hear the most is like fear, intimidation. I want to validate that. I really do, because you may see me operate my business and talk about boundaries and really be able to talk about it with confidence, and I'm really bold about it and I'm very passionate about it, as you all know. But I also got here from making a lot of mistakes in the past. And I really, really want to emphasize that. I understand if you have fear or intimidation around setting boundaries, I really want to validate that because there is a lot at stake for you. If you set boundaries and the client doesn't take it well, it will create friction in a relationship. If you set boundaries and they're not effectively set and your client kind of ignores them, steps over them, steps on top of them, however you want to talk about it, when that happens too, like, that really doesn't feel good. It really is very disempowering. And it actually has you feel like you're in less control rather than being more in control. And you also feel very much usually like there's a lack of a lack of respect from your clients there. And then I also think, gosh, it's just like it's the slippery slope. It's also this little bit of like lack of self-respect that you have too. You're like, come on, silly. Like, you said that you were going to set boundaries with this client, and here they are stepping all over you. And you kind of begin that negative self-talk of like beating yourself up and feeling really guilty for not being able to have either set or enforced boundaries. And so if that has come up for you, I feel you. And I also want you to know, I want you to recognize that all of that is very valid. And those are not reasons enough to not learn how to properly set and establish and enforce client boundaries. I shared with you that I've learned how to do this well because I've done it the wrong way. And I have done it the wrong way in many facets of my life. I talk a good amount about my previous career experience, and it is wild how it was in financial services and recruitment. Like, I ran a recruiting business inside a financial services company. And yet there was so much client interaction, client management, managing expectations I had to learn, setting effective boundaries I had to learn, really in the recruiting space of it. And I started there at the age of 22, and I had a really important job for 9 years there. And that job included establishing and managing expectations, communicating effectively our policies and boundaries and non-negotiables, and really being able to have these individuals understand, comply, and follow through. And that was not easy. It was not easy. But luckily for me, it was in a very low stakes. I mean, I did have a salary on top of bonus and commission and all of that. So it was low stakes for me because I wasn't learning this for the first time in my own business, where I was on my own and 100% commission based, I guess you could say, what we all are. And it just gave me this room to be able to do things wrong over and over and over again, and try new things and learn the right way of being able to do this well, professionally, kindly, friendly, and yet at the same time with a ton of self-respect and without guilt, as I had to part ways with some people who didn't comply and follow through. So all of that to say, I just want to validate, like, I understand why this might be fearful for you to do it. There are some clients of mine who, prior to working with me, were really afraid of setting boundaries because of those reasons I just mentioned. Like, they tried setting them and then their client totally took advantage of them anyways. And it really had my client feel really frustrated, feel very out of control, and feel like she didn't, do this well, and that it wasn't possible for her. And that she even kind of risked this relationship by trying to set boundaries, and she kind of felt like, maybe it wasn't even worth it to like create any sort of friction for then it to just kind of derail. And so I understand that. And then I also think there are times where like you set them and then the client is kind of rude back, or they really don't, I don't know, they just aren't really kind back and aren't very receptive of it. And so I really understand that. And so here's what I want to talk through is boundaries are so important in your business. And I've been really like, I can see this picture because I'm obsessed with them. So I can zoom out and see this picture really, really well. It's like, oh yeah, obviously, to me, oh yeah, obviously boundaries equal making more money and being happy in your business. But there is this like, okay, why is that I really wanted to explore with you today and share with you today to help connect the dots, to at least shift your thinking from maybe today it being boundaries are really hard to set and I don't know how to set them. So therefore, like, I'm going to set like lukewarm ones. I'm going to set like really innocent, low risk ones. And outside of that, we'll figure it out. And I want to like shift you from that energy to how can I begin, like, boundaries are clearly an essential business strategy. I wonder how I can start leveraging them in a way that allows me to make more money and be happier in my business. So that's my goal. So I want you to just go from like where you are today to like, okay, wait a second, I see how this can be a business strategy. And that's what I want you to take away from this too, is that boundaries are a business strategy. They are not about being rude. They are not selfish. They are a business strategy. They're a winning business strategy that allow you to win and your clients to get the best of you and the best result possible. That is what boundaries do for you. So, do you have to set them? Of course not. You can run your business however you want. But I want you to feel, you deserve to. you deserve to have boundaries in your business. You deserve to learn how to set them effectively, and have your clients follow them. So no, you do not have to have boundaries in your business, but if you choose not to have them, I want that to be a conscious choice you're making, not because you're afraid, but because you don't want to leverage this business strategy. So let me walk you through this, because I was really spending time on this today, asking myself as I was prepping for this, like, how are they a winning business strategy? Okay, establishing boundaries effectively. And I want you to, like, I'm going to break this down kind of slowly, and I would recommend that you grab a pen and paper, 100%. I want you to grab a pen and paper for this. Establishing effective boundaries leads to better being able to manage client expectations. Because, for example, a client is saying to you, I want this done in 4 months. And you're like, that is not going to happen. That's not going to happen. This is going to be done in 6 to 9 months. It's probably like the least amount of time will be 6 to 9 months. So if they're pushing you and saying, no, I want this done in 4 months, and you're saying, I totally hear you, but I will not promise, I will not enter this agreement with you thinking this will be done in 4 months. That's you putting up a boundary for yourself to not feel this energetic pressure to do something that is not possible and make it possible. So that is a really clean example of you having a boundary. So they allow you to better manage client expectations, because you are not going to take on people who do not fall into that do not follow these boundaries. And you are only going to take on people who, when you communicate back what's possible for them, they're saying they're in agreement of that. So they allow you to better manage client expectations. They allow you to operate more efficiently. Why? Because you're not being taken advantage of in meetings and in other time of yours and client requests that are not necessary, but right now you are like currently feeling like you need to respond to. We're setting boundaries around that. You're able to better manage your time because you are not going to be pulled in so many directions so frequently. And they allow you to minimize conflict because you are going to have clean, clear boundaries. There will be less conflict that come up with your clients. So if you can see that, I want you to drop a 1 in the chat. If that's something that you're like, okay, I can see that. Boundaries equal better managing expectations, operating more efficiently, and minimizing conflict. Cool. What does that do for you then? And I would like kind of have those 3 bullet points and create like an arrow to like, what does that lead to? That leads to a smoother workflow for you because you're not being pulled in so many different directions. You're able to have your own processes and follow them. Because your clients are not trying to pull you in different processes. They're not trying to get you off track, or maybe they are, but you're not letting them. You're not going to let your clients derail you anymore. So they allow you to have a smoother workflow. You're able to anticipate your workflow better as well. You're going to improve your profitability because you are going to be not only saving time, so you're able to take on more, but you're able to be more intentional about what you're doing, how you're billing effectively. You're going to be able to do that better because you are going to be less scattered and more focused. You're going to have better work-life balance. Better work-life balance comes from better managing client expectations, operating more efficiently, minimizing conflicts. Better work-life balance. You are going to better be able to have balance in your business and your life. And it brings you higher client satisfaction. Why? Because you're better managing client expectations, because you're operating more efficiently and effectively, and because you're minimizing conflicts in your business and with clients. So you will have higher client satisfaction from operating more effectively, from having boundaries in your business. Where does that bring you? Now I'm gonna I would put a circle around that, and I wish I had a whiteboard. Honestly, oh my God, I just had this brainstorm where I'm I have a space now for a whiteboard. What? Before we were in a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom condo in the heart of downtown Chicago with literally no space for anything. If I had a whiteboard, I would have had a whiteboard it would be in my kitchen and living room and office. So anyways, I'm oh my God, what would that be like to be you guys? Okay. Let's go back to this. So I want you to draw a circle around that. And I want you to draw another arrow to what that leads to. So smoother workflow, improved profitability, better work-life balance, higher client satisfaction. What does that lead to? Higher client satisfaction. Your clients are more satisfied with working with you because you managed their expectations well, because you were really effective, you operated very efficiently. Higher client satisfaction creates higher client retention, more referrals, and more repeat business. That is what higher client satisfaction brings you. And higher client satisfaction is a result of better managing expectations, operating more efficiently, and minimizing conflict. All which are a result of having established and effective boundaries. So client retention, client referrals, repeat business, these are things that we want, we desire. Why aren't we currently achieving this? Because we are spread so thin. Because we are constantly going off process. We're constantly saying yes to what our clients think that they want. We're constantly saying yes to these client requests that are just not necessary. We're pausing with every single text message that we get instead of being able to be really intentional and focused about getting things done. So these boundaries lead to client retention, referrals, repeat business. It also leads to higher job satisfaction. You will be happier in your business, operating your business. I feel like that when my clients work with me, whether it's in Client Success Academy or just private coaching, when my clients are done working with me, they always report higher levels of job satisfaction and higher levels of life satisfaction because they're no longer going and I always say barfing onto their husbands all of the pain points and all the challenges and all the negative energy and the drama that comes with working with clients and not having established and successful boundaries. So higher job satisfaction. You're going to be making more money in your business. You're going to be less stressed in your business. You're going to feel more fulfilled. You're going to feel more valued. You're going to have deeper relationships with your clients. I should have written that one down. Deeper relationships with your clients because there's a level of self-respect there. There's a level of mutual respect there that isn't there when boundaries aren't set, established, reinforced, and followed. And last but not least, more sustainable growth. Why is your growth more sustainable? Because you have boundaries, because you're clearer on your time, you're clearer on your processes, you're clearer on how you make money, you're clearer on these decisions that you're currently wavering on in your business. That you may not even think you're wavering on because you're like, no, I have a boundary about not being texted. And it's like, okay, but if you're allowing your clients to text you in a way that frustrates you, then you're currently wavering on that boundary. That's not a decision that you've made. You haven't decided that that's how you're going to operate your business. You're still in this fluctuation of like, I don't know, is this it? Is this how is this necessary? Maybe it's fine that they text me, but then they text you every day. They're sending you stuff that is not even in the scope of work. That is not, and you're getting frustrated, they're getting frustrated because you're not getting back to them on time. Let's talk about this. They're emailing you something that's not in the scope of work, or they're texting you something that's not in the scope of work, but they're just asking for your opinion on it. They just want to know over here in this room that I haven't asked you to design, what do you think about paint colors? What do you think about a ceiling fan? What do you think about this? And you're like dragging your feet on replying, which I hope you are, and you should be, because you should not be designing a room that wasn't in the scope of work. That's a clear boundary. So you're dragging your feet on replying, and then you get back to them, but you're like really frustrated when you get back to them. You're like not enjoyably getting back to them. You're like resentfully getting back to them, offering your most minimal opinion, I'm sure. I hope, actually. I'm still going to support that. I hope. And they're wondering why they're not getting more from you. They're wondering why you didn't get back to them right away. Why? Because they don't realize that your scope of work was a boundary, and that operating outside of that is not a part of the agreement. And if that spins out, if that continues, you're going to lose trust, you're going to lose respect. And here's the crazy part, is you're like, but I shouldn't lose trust and respect because like, I just want to stick with my scope of work. Well, that's where effective communication gets involved. That's when we have to communicate. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Client, I appreciate that you're trying to pull me into all of these things, but we really agreed on these 3 rooms that I'm designing, and offering my opinion outside of those 3 rooms right now, it's just pulling us away from the original scope of work. Therefore, if you want me for rooms 4 and 5, let's have a full discussion about it. Do you see how that establishes trust? That shouldn't upset anybody. That just allows you to do what you do best and what you signed up to do. So, boundaries protect your profit, they protect your sanity, your mental health, they protect your energy, and they allow you to have and feel the self-respect, the mutual respect that is created, that is foundational for you and your clients to have a really good client experience. I also want to chime in about people, because I think there's a lot of fear around boundaries, a lot of fear around it. And I just want to check that fear. I just want to watch it, because I think that there's this misconception that boundaries are incredibly complicated, really hard to set, and they don't have to be. They do not have to be at all. And I want you to watch the people that you may talk to, maybe the other designers who, when you mention boundaries, their response is, oh, they're impossible to set. Or, oh my God, I tried setting it once and they went terrible and my client got really mad at me. Because I think when you hear those kinds of stories, you hold on to more fear. You hear those stories and you're like, okay, well, so-and-so lost a really big client because she tried setting boundaries. And so you're going to be more reluctant to set them yourself. And so what I encourage you to do is find really good examples of designers or other business owners who have clean, clear, effective boundaries with their clients, and that it goes really, really well for them. Because the more that you get wrapped up into other people's bad experiences, the more fearful you're going to be of something that likely will not happen to you if you learn how to do this effectively. So that's what I have for you today. I just wanted to have an honest conversation about why it's really important for you to set boundaries, client boundaries that bring you confidence, profit, efficiency, these things that self-respect, mutual respect, respect for yourself and respect from other people. And that, I'm like, if I were to give like one more example in here, it's like, I want you to realize that if your clients don't respect your boundaries, you don't want them as a client anyways. And so I think a lot of times we get really afraid of losing business because we've set boundaries. And what are boundaries? They're a form of self-respect. Boundaries are a form of self-respect, but they're in the client's best interest too. And so if you have clients or prospective clients, or you hear of a friend of yours who lost a client because they had effective boundaries set, it's like, is that really somebody that you want to be working with anyways? I don't know about you. You and I have different businesses, but I will not. I have too much self-respect to have a client feel that they can bulldoze me or derail my process or text me around the clock or these things that like just don't work for me. They just don't work for me. And I'm in full belief that there are enough really great people out there, great designers out there, that I'd rather spend my time finding those people than work with somebody who doesn't respect my boundaries, and then that picks away at my mental health and my self-value. So if you're afraid of setting client boundaries because you're afraid of losing a prospective client, two things to say to that. One, if you do it well, you should not lose a good client. And two, if somebody doesn't respect your boundaries, why do you want to work with them anyways? It's just not worth it. I would rather have money come my way that feels really good because not only did I earn it, but I had the client's respect too. And there's a lot of, it's a positive relationship. I'd rather have that than like feel like I have to continue to work for somebody who does not respect me, which then again picks away at my own mental health and my own self-value. And I'm receiving money from them and I feel like I don't have an option in that. Doesn't feel good to me. That's what I have for you today. I hope it's helpful. Please let me know if it is. Drop in the comments any major takeaways that you have. And next week I'm opening my coaching program, which starts in January, Client Success Academy, where I am helping my clients. The whole program is teaching designers how to implement an effective client process that communicates boundaries, that manages client expectations. You're able to decline undesirable business without any guilt, show up more professionally with your prospective clients, all in a way that allows you to establish and maintain client and project control. That is opening next week. If you have any questions at all about it, don't hesitate to DM me, CSA, and let's chat more about it. You can learn more at the link in my bio. I honestly haven't been more excited for anything since starting my business. I'm like, this is going to be amazing. This is going to be amazing. So you can learn more at the link in my bio. I will be sharing with you more about it over the next couple of weeks. But I hope that this was helpful. I hope that this was really enlightening for you. Let me know what questions you have or any fears you have about boundaries. I would love to hear from you, because that'll help me with what my next live, I think my next live is going to be. So let me know any questions you have about boundaries or any fears that you have about boundaries. Let me know. And I will chat with you soon. Thanks for hanging with me, friends. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.